Bob here, Chopper Bob Customs. Still working on the 58 Delray. Right off the bat, please like the videos when you see them. Please comment on the videos when you see them. And by all means subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications button so you'll know when new things are coming up on the channel. Today, what I'm working on right now in the car is trying to get some of the support functions on the car corrected or installed correctly so that when I put the fuel injection unit on it, it'll be just ready to fire up. So the one thing that I've done that I haven't done on camera is that we went ahead and got an aluminum radiator design for the 58 Delray. Basically, there was some cross-flow, little tiny aluminum radiator in the car. I don't know what it's out of. Did not have transmission cooler lines. Did not have a petcock to drain it. You had to pull the lower hose off, and it made a huge mess. And it was full of mud. And we went out and looked, and it was going to be 150 bucks to get it cleaned out. And the truth of the matter is, I was able to get this radiator for the customer right in the neighborhood of $10 more than that. So it's an aluminum 3-core. We decided to go ahead and give it a try to see if it would cool the car with the higher horsepower engine in it. But with it being aluminum and clean and well built, I don't see that it won't. And then I've rehung the air conditioning condenser. They had it installed downflow, which is not the way it's designed to be operated. It's designed as a cross-flow unit. They had it hung by a metal strap held in with self-drilling screws at the top, so it was swinging like a porch swing or something. And so I've got it installed with some bracketry that I made out of 18 gauge, rolled bead in it so that it's pretty rigid, and got it hung in there really well. And now what I'm doing is I'm working on the transmission cooler mounts. Here again, they use the zip ties that I'm not a big fan of. You get a little bit of dirt in there, a little bit of vibration, and basically what you got is abrasive sawing through the tubes and fins of your radiator and your air conditioning condenser and your transmission oil cooler. So what I've done is I went ahead and I made a bracket. And my original thought was, I don't know whether you can see this or not, but basically all I need is a strap from here to here and a strap from here to here. But to make it so that it's not a hinge, a four-link mechanism, I thought, well, it would be cool if at least one end was tied together. And then I got to thinking about it. Why don't I just make it out of one piece? And wouldn't it be cool if I could dimple dye it? Well, I don't have any dimple dyes. And so, but I've watched, I don't know whether you guys have gone out and looked at Japan's YouTube channel. It's Make It Custom, Carl Fisher. He does some fantastic things with steel. I learn a lot from him. And he made some dimple dyes. But I believe, I'm going to have to go back and review his video on that. I think he used a lathe. I don't have access to a lathe. I was contemplating buying a set from Swag Off-Road. I have their brake. They make quality stuff, and so I've been looking at their dimple dye set, and I'm definitely going to put it on my Christmas list. We'll see if I get it for Christmas. But I thought, what if I got around the shop that would allow me to put a dimple dye in a piece of steel? And there you can see the first dimple dye that I've ever made. And it's not big, but let me tell you something. This is totally amazing. This piece of steel, now granted, it's 18 gauge, so it's pretty rigid. But when I put that dimple dye in there, this made it so much more rigid. Just with that one, it put so much stress in the metal that it would actually be enough. But I'm going to go ahead and put in 4 more, and I thought I'd show you all in one how I do it. Because basically it's just stuff that I had sitting around the shop. So I thought, what have I got that has a rounded end to it that would make the the male part of the dimple die. And I thought, well, I've got a ball peen hammer and it's got a fairly nice rounded ball on the end of it. And I thought, well, I can use that in the press. I mean, the press will come down on that and push it down into the material. What have I got for the female? And the one thing that I did have that I was going to try was a pulley, but it didn't quite clear the brakes that I needed to put in it. And so I looked around to see what else I had, and I've got a ball joint press in the shop, and it has a hole. It's a little bit smaller than I would have liked, but it also has a drop off that will allow me to clear the brake on this one side. And that's how I made this first dimple in the part, was with these items right here, right in my shop. So now I will tell you the downside to this that dimple dies have that this does not have, and that is a register so that you have it well centered. So you have to eyeball it when you're doing it this way. But basically, I'm going to try probably the most difficult one, which is the one close to the brake. And I'm going to see if I can get it centered and put a dimple in this. Let me reposition the camera and zoom in so you can see this working. Okay, now if I don't get in the way of the recording, and you'll have to excuse me if I jump a little bit, the shop has been overrun with wasp. I'm not exactly sure what the attraction is, but I'm going to have to do something to get rid of the wasp. So I've got it about centered. I'm going to center the hammer in the ram, and let's see what happens. The other thing on my Christmas list is an air-over hydraulic jack for this unit. Try and speed things up a bit. Yeah. I'm a little off center, but let's see if it'll focus on me here. And now this thing is really rigid, so let me go ahead and put the remaining 4 in, or remaining 3, and I'll try and center this one a little bit better. Time on that one. Let me see if I can get that a little bit better. And I'm going to probably have to straighten that one out and try again. Okay, so I'm going to have to see if I can straighten this one out a little bit, but I've got 4 of the 5 pretty nice, and that one I'm going to go over and see if I can't hammer it back out flat and redo it. But there you have it. 5 dimple dies, and it'll be going in that part. I'll need to do a little bit of straightening on it because it did warp it a little bit, as you can see right there. But on the whole, I'm very pleased with the way this worked. Okay, this is the alternator for the 58, and the clocking on it is not correct. This mounting hole right here needs to be 120 degrees over here. So what we're going to have to do is clock the alternator, and in order to do that you need to take these 3 bolts out right here. Now they're a Torx fitting. The problem is my Torx socket for this is too fat to go down into the slot here. So, but what actually works quite well is a 1/4 inch 12-point end wrench will undo them. So it's a little bit slower, but it'll get the job done. Okay, now you want to be careful when you're doing this that you don't pull this out too far. Get it up high enough, and that may be too high. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is probably see about taking the pulley and the fan off. Right there. Yep. Okay, here's one reclocked. Hope that's in the right place. That hole right there, let's see, that hole right there, that hole, if you ever do take it apart to where the brushes become disengaged, you push the brushes back into their slots, you slide probably one of the plastic nozzles off a spray can in there to hold the brushes in place. You reassemble the alternator, and then you pull that out, and it lets the brushes fall against the commutator on the field. But I didn't have to do that on this one. I did have to take this off. Apparently, I don't know whether it's pressed into that bearing or what, but I could not get it to come forward with the field, so I basically just took the front cover off. So anyway, so that's ready to be put back on, clocked correctly. I'm going to check and see if that's a metric or a standard bolt. It looks like, let's see. Maybe metric. Yes, it is metric. So I'm going to have to find a metric bolt for it, because we are SAE here at the shop. Okay, so there's the reclocked alternator. Allowed that bolt to go in on the back brace right there. Also brought the electrical connector up top side where I can get to it a lot easier. And so I don't know whether it's permanently installed or not, because I just found out I'm going to have to change the fitting on the back of the power steering pump. And I don't know whether I'm going to have to completely disassemble this side of the engine or not, but there you have it. And then there are the brackets for the transmission cooler. I didn't show you the brackets that I built for the condenser. They're just pretty much simple with a bead rolled down the center of them. There's one in behind there. I don't think you can see it at the bottom. So, but there they are with their dimples. And so now I got to get all this stuff connected up. So in the meantime, it's got storms rolling in, so gonna be calling it a short day. I gotta ask you again, please like the videos, tell your friends, share them, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button and comment. Let me know what you think. This is sort of a short video. I've been working on another project as well, as I'm running out of parts on this 58, but hopefully I'm going to have both of them done here shortly and get some stuff posted out here on my channel. So like, comment, subscribe, set the notifications so you know when they're coming up, and beyond that, Chopper Bob out.